flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, the first item of business this evening is to adopt tonight's agenda. Looking for a motion to do that.
Mayor, if I could just for 1 second here.
Of course.
One minor addition I would like to throw on is just the approval of 2 firefighters to be approved onto the Maple Plain Fire Department. They are Lucas McCowan and Joe Doyle. That was one item that missed this under new business. I know it was talked about previously, but those 2 firefighters, if I could get their approval into a probationary firefighter status.
Okay, we will add that under new business.
Thank you.
Okay, so looking for a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved with that amendment.
Okay, looking for a second.
Second.
Any further discussion, additions, or corrections to the agenda? All right, hearing none, we will roll call vote.
Councilmember Cahill.
Aye.
Councilmember DeLong.
Aye.
Councilmember DeLuca.
Aye.
Mayor Moskowski.
Aye.
And Councilmember Fay.
Aye.
The ayes have it 5-0.
All right, our first item of business this evening is visitors to be heard. It is my understanding we do have a visitor with us, so welcome. If you'd please state your name and address, and this is a time for you to talk to us, and we will not have direct interaction.
Hey, Greg, I think you're.
Might help if I unmuted myself.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Gregory Whitcomb. I'm a 37-year resident here of Maple Plain. I live on the corner of Clayton and Joyce at 5328 Clayton Drive.
Welcome, Gregory.
And the reason why I've come to the meeting is to get our compost pile back. And I'm really not asking. There's enough people I've run into, and myself in particular, that want that compost pile back, and we want to get it back, and we're going to get it back somehow. And need your help to do it, or without. I've tried to talk to the Met Council. I've called them several times last fall, a couple of times. There's some project manager or something that Bobby had given me, and no return calls yet, but I'm getting hopeful that somebody's going to at least talk about continuing the compost pile in the portion of where it is now. It took me 3.5 weekends to try and cut up a couple of trees and gift wrap part of it for Randy's sanitation, and that was pretty frustrating. And I still have larger limbs in the backyard, figuring out what to do with. So because of all the hassles and expense of bags and things like that, there's a lot of us that want the compost pile back. And if they have to run their pipes either in the back or run cement over the top of the entrance so that they used to run their pipes through the front, which was the last thing I'd heard was the reason why they couldn't have it, that'd be fine. The other thing is I bought a Chamberlain garage door opener that can work with Bluetooth, so you can get an app and you can have a push button, and we'll change it. You can change the doors, the swinging gates to the compost pile into a slide over with only authorized people, residents and city people and Met Council people in and out of it, so you know it's the right people going in and out of there, adding to the composting.
Sure.
Any questions?
Well, thank you, Greg, too, for reaching out. I appreciate that. I know we've talked on the phone a few times as well.
Yeah.
And I think, the challenge that we face, Greg, is that, I mentioned this the last time, is that the city does not own that land anymore. That has been sold, and that land transfer did happen. But as we had mentioned, and I talked to you before, any ideas you have in regards to composting throughout the city, I'm all ears for, and trying to find another solution with you. I know that Randy's is a service that is available, and I know it's not as convenient as what was the previous compost site. But I'm willing to continue to work with you on any type of solution that we can come up with here, Greg.
Yeah, we're getting a compost pile site back, and it's too bad that when you were negotiating that sale, you couldn't have negotiated into the contract of that thing. You don't have much leverage now when you sell the place to them, but you have all kinds of leverage when you're selling.
It's a challenge with that. You're right. It's not easy, and acquiring that land and what land we could get back, that's a challenge.
Well, it's very frustrating because you drive by there right now and it's still a compost pile.
Correct.
It hasn't changed a bit. And then you drive down Poplar a little bit past the microwave tower, and now there's a whole new compost pile back there with huge walls of trees lining it. And you give me the name of the company, I can't get a hold of them.
Yeah.
To find out if they can, we lease that part.
Sure. No,
it's been frustrating. It's
I understand.
frustrating to not be able to bag and like others, be able to fill our trailers and get it there. But so we're getting a compost pile. All right.
Thank you too, Greg, and please feel free to reach out to me and work with me on ideas that you have or different solutions. And speaking here tonight, I really appreciate that. I know City Council does too.
Okay. My 3 minutes is probably up, so thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Whitcomb, for joining us. Are there any other visitors to be heard? I thought I saw someone call in. Are they wanting to speak? Are you aware of any, Bobby?
I am not. Just Greg. Greg reached out.
Okay. All right. Seeing none, then we will move on to our next item of business, which is our consent agenda. Looking for approval of the April 27th City Council business minutes, approval of the April 27th City Council workshop minutes, approval of the May 4th City Council workshop minutes, approval of the May 11th City Council workshop minutes, and approval of the May 18th City Council workshop minutes.
So moved.
Moved by Cahill.
I'll second.
Second by DeLong. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, there will be a roll call vote to approve the consent agenda as written.
Councilmember DeLong.
Aye.
Councilmember DeLuca.
Aye.
Mayor Moskowski.
Aye.
Councilmember Fay.
Aye.
And Councilmember Cahill.
Aye.
The ayes have it 5-0.
The next item of business this evening is the May accounts payable. Looking for a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Moved by Cahill.
I've got a question on it actually, Mayor.
Okay.
Of course I have to find my notes. Bobby, just the accounts payable came through with the payments for Stantec. The last minutes said that, or the last meeting we had, you had pulled those off because you had some questions for them. I was just wondering if that was all resolved or what came of that.
Yeah, I ended up looking in our accounting software on if we did make a payment to them for that time period. And we did not. So there was a missed payment that we just never got that invoice from them. So I I understand it's very frustrating. We're going to have to actually code that back to 2019, that amount. But they did do work for us in that time period in September through November 1, and we never did pay them. So that's what I wanted to look into and make sure that we weren't getting double billed or going to pay for something twice.
Okay, so that's what you were looking into. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
How far back, Bobby, did those invoices go?
Our invoices with just that particular one invoice.
Well, there were a whole series of them that
Yeah.
were in that
Yeah.
for different projects.
Correct. It's all in the time period of September 28th through November 1st.
And Bobby,
Any other-
I do have a comment, Mayor.
Go ahead, Councilmember Fay.
Bobby, just as long as we're on engineering, I want to just a brief on Bolton and Menk, since it's our first full invoice from Bolton and Menk. And quite a bit of it has to do with the professional services for Veteran Memorial Park. You've been tasked with monitoring the on-site project manager and et cetera, to make sure that what they're doing from a standpoint of surveying, from a standpoint of who's on site, who's not on site, that $16,000 for Veterans Memorial Park over the course of the past month, that was completely for services rendered. You've confirmed that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel really good with that, John. Really good about that.
All right, hearing no other question or discussions, we have a motion by Cahill to accept the accounts payable. I'm looking for a second.
I'll second, Mayor.
Second by DeLong. We've already had discussion, so it'll be a roll call vote to approve the May accounts payable as submitted.
Councilmember DeLuca.
Aye.
Mayor Moskowski.
Aye.
Councilmember Fay.
Aye.
Councilmember Cahill.
Aye.
Councilmember DeLong.
Aye.
The ayes have it 5-0.
Okay. The next item of business this evening is our administrative reports, and we received reports from our city planner for the month of May, West Hennepin Public Safety for the month of April, our city engineer for the May monthly report, our city administration for May, and Public Works for April. Those were all submitted as written, so if there are no questions or discussion, I'm looking for a motion to approve those or accept them as written.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Councilmember Fay,
Second.
second by Councilmember DeLong. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, and it will be a roll call vote to accept the administrative reports as submitted.
Mayor Moskowski.
Aye.
Councilmember Fay.
Aye.
Councilmember Cahill.
Aye.
Councilmember DeLong.
Aye.
And Councilmember DeLuca.
Aye.
The ayes have it 5-0.
Bobby, I would just like to note now that next month it would be the quarter check-in for our consultants. So if you could get that on all their radars so they can plan to join us virtually and we can do a in-person check-in next month.
Yep, I'm planning on that for not only that for our consultants showing up, but also then for another quarterly finance checkup.
Okay, perfect. So that will be June 22nd.
Yep.
All right, thank you. This evening we have new business, and that is to approve probationary firefighters Lucas McCown and Joey Doyle. Any other question or discussions?
The only note I just really is that we have a hiring process that outlines a number of steps that firefighters do need to go through before they are eligible for probationary firefighter status from the city council, and that all the steps were followed appropriately. In fact, Joe Doyle, the chief right now is Chris Doyle, did not participate in individual chief interviews with him. We had our chief 3, Corey Schultz, do that to make sure that the process was fair and correct all the way through for both firefighters. So I just wanted to make that note.
Thank you for that update. Okay, so with that, I am looking for a motion to approve Lucas McCown and Joy Doyle on their probationary period to the Maple Plain Fire Department.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember DeLuca,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember DeLong. Any further discussion?
Mayor,
Hearing none. Oh,
I
Councilmember
would just
DeLuca.
like to add, I think it is encouraging to have new firefighters added to our group and to have people like Lucas and Joey who are willing to step forward and begin their careers with our organization, I think is encouraging. And our firefighters do great work, and adding great people to a team is what makes it even better.
Thank you, well said. Any other discussion or comments? Okay, with that, there will be a roll call vote.
Mayor Moskowski,
Aye.
Councilmember Fay,
Aye.
Councilmember Cahill,
Aye.
Councilmember DeLong.
Aye.
And Councilmember DeLuca.
Aye.
The ayes have it 5-0.
Okay. Our next item of business this evening is council reports and other business. And I would just like to start by saying kudos to council. It has been a busy month, I think, for everyone. Everyone was a part of the Parks listening session, EDA, our weekly workshops, being available for COVID check-ins, and then also a Board of Equalization reconvene. So thank you, everyone, for making that a priority. And then at this time, we'll do individual reports, and we will start with Councilmember DeLuca.
The personnel group also has been meeting the last month. We're working on policies and the revision to the HR policy manual that will probably at this point be to council at the end of June with our recommendations for some modifications, a few alterations, changes for the better as we've looked at our policies and procedures. We do this about every 3 years, I think it is, 2 or 3 years. And this was our year to do it. So we've been working on it this spring.
Thank you. Councilmember Cahill.
In addition to joining Councilmember DeLuca on personnel, I also joined the Planning Commission, where we continued our discussion on revising the nuisance ordinance and blight. And that should be coming, I believe, next month as well.
Thank you. Councilmember DeLong.
The only thing in addition to our many meetings this month has been one police commission workshop that Chief Crails invited us to discuss COVID items.
Thank you. Councilmember Fay.
Hey, John.
My apologies.
Thank you.
I attended many workshops with all of you over the course of the past month. Bobby and I attended a fire relief meeting in which we discussed in detail our investment portfolio for the firefighters and a mega Pioneer Sarah Creek Watershed Commission meeting last Thursday in which we were almost complete with our 4th generation plan. Mr. DeLuca will know what I'm talking about because he was involved in the 3rd generation plan. And we authorized the budget for 2020, and I can say good news. We held it steady. As a matter of fact, I think the city of Maple Plain might even see about a $400 decrease for our annual member dues. So.
Thank you. We like that word. All right. I was able to attend the Highway 12 Safety Coalition along with Bobby. We are currently working on finalizing the plan, connecting the County Road 92s, just some minor details with that. I was able to attend the Minnesota Women in City Government meeting. They are accepting nominations for elected and appointed officials through the 29th. I was able to attend the Northwest Hennepin League of Municipalities with local mayors, and our speaker was from the census. So just a reminder, if you have not already completed your census information, please do. It is a benefit to the city and to the state. And if you need help with that, please reach out to City Hall. And if there are any language challenges, please reach out to Donna Ostavig through the schools, as she is partnering to help us with that. Was able to go to the Police Commission workshop. And then just want to remind people, Councilmember Fay and I serve on the Rotary and have the privilege of representing the city. And our City Hall is a collection site for the Gather and Give program. So right now, for those families that, times are challenging with students at home and children at home, we're looking for things like printer paper, crayons, gift cards to specialty stores where you can buy that kind of stuff, and then obviously the personal hygiene items. So if you have any interest, you can find more information on our Facebook page and our website as well. So thank you so much to everyone for your work. It has been unprecedented times. I appreciate the respect and working well together and listening to one another and doing what's best for our residents. So anything else from anyone this evening? Okay. With that, then I am looking for a motion to adjourn from our city council meeting.
I move to adjourn.
Adjourned by Councilmember DeLuca. Motion.
I'll second.
And second by Councilmember DeLong. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we will reconvene in 5 minutes for our workshop. Thank you, everyone.